Welcome to Sweat the Standard podcast. I'm Vanessa. I'm here with my co-host Terrance.
What's up, good people?
And we're here to help you raise the bar in business while making entrepreneurship simpler, smarter, and a whole lot more fun. Today, we're going to be talking with my amazing friend, John Brucato. He's here to give us 5 tips for before, during, and after starting a business. So welcome.
Thank you. I am so fired up for you guys having this podcast. You know, I know Terrance and I, we just, kind of met for the first time today. He's actually a real person. I thought he was a myth, like a figment of Vanessa's imagination.
I'm real.
They say that the man and the legend, because he's no myth. He's right here. He just tried to hold my hand. It got weird for a second. No, Vanessa, I appreciate you thinking of me and having me here. I've had the privilege of watching your journey over the years. It's been amazing seeing all the excitement and the growth and all the ups and downs and all arounds. I'm sure you've had those experiences too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what before we jump into anything, actually, I want to know what motivated you guys to start the podcast.
I think the biggest thing for me was becoming an entrepreneur. And even now, still figuring out the I don't knows of what I don't know.
And there's so many.
Let me know when you figure that out.
Right?
Let me know when you figure that out.
Yeah, I don't think it ever stops. But I just wish I would have had a really fun way to kind of learn about the things and, before you've got to find it out the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the good thing about this is this gives us a chance, like I tell everyone, there's no things that are just honestly just industry specific.
Yeah.
Everyone who owns a business goes through all the same things. And me and Vanessa, we're both in the fitness industry, but I talk to all these other people who are on restaurants and different things like that. And we all go through all the same things. So why not have a platform where we can talk about it? Because why not? We're not in this alone.
That's right.
And not feel so lonely.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell us something about the journey that, people don't know.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things I see, especially when people are starting out, Terrance, is that they think, okay, especially if they come from being an employee, that they're going to have all the time in the world when they're their own boss.
Oh, it's the opposite.
It's the exact opposite,
It's the
man.
opposite.
Somehow you become an Uber driver. Somehow, but I don't mean like literally. I mean like somehow you become the delivery person for your family. Somehow you're always supposed to take your family to the airport when they need you to, and that you're always free to go get lunch every day. And somehow you're still magically supposed to be home at 5:00. And
well, I think that's always the biggest balance. And so you're married, I'm married. And so, with children.
Still single.
And that adds a whole nother layer to it. And then children add a whole nother layer. And so it's, figuring out these things is always the biggest thing. So how did you get started with your business? That's what we want to really know.
Yeah, I'm actually in business for myself by accident.
Okay.
I'll give it the Reader's Digest version. I had a boss. I was doing data analytics and market research. I'm actually a super nerd, which most people don't know about me. I'm actually a closeted introvert. That you would never know.
I think we all are, though.
Yeah. And again, we're just know each other, but I know that for sure for you too.
Yes.
But we can turn it on when we need to turn it on, right? Mm-hmm. But I was spreadsheets and numbers doing research for different companies, and my boss was just not a great person. He just wasn't a wonderful guy, and really knew how to keep you in your place, right, and not his. And so I was looking for side hustles or part-time deals, and I ended up going door to door selling insurance. Did not enjoy that. I didn't like cold calling, didn't like door knocking, but I would do it because I wanted to get out of where I was.
Yeah.
And through friends of friends, actually a personal trainer at the time, I ended up at the office of a financial broker, and his thought process was, hey man, look, you're already working, your butt off. You're already working 50, 60 hours a week. What if you could, do insurance and do investments and coach people through things, but you wouldn't have to, if you came to work with me, you wouldn't have to door knock, you wouldn't have to cold call. By the way, you get to own this one day versus being an employee. And I said, all right, that sounds good. It wasn't until I discovered that a different financial professional hurt my family. Yeah, it really hurt my family that I took it seriously. It was just kind of a part-time deal. I had my full-time job. was just doing a little bit of stuff on the side. And when I found out that somebody hurt my parents, I got angry.
Yeah.
You know, some people get into business because they see a hole in the market and they want to jump into it. They want to tighten that up and capitalize on that. Right. Some people get laid off, and so they're just tired of going through that cycle. A lot of oil and gas people, they get tired of that cycle.
And they go survival.
And they go do something for themselves. But some people get thrown into a situation where they get angry about it. You know, Vanessa, I know you've experienced stuff like that in your past.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of us, we come from a corporate background and we find a passion, or we find a lane to fill, as Terrance has said.
Yeah.
Or you find a purpose in what this new calling that you never thought would be. But it sometimes stems from, I see this boss, I see this person running a business, and I just don't really appreciate the way they treat everybody underneath them. And I want to be somebody that can be that, but be a better support system, be a better business owner, be a better boss, be a better manager.
100%. That's so powerful. I got really angry, and of course, a totally adult and mature decision to emotionally quit my job with no money saved, no backup plan, no book of business, no contacts, no experience in business. Just quit my job. That's the totally adult, mature thing to do. Yeah. And that's what I did, and came back to Houston from that experience with my parents, just angry and in attack mode. And so I've learned a lot of ups and downs in business as a result of not having a plan. But you know, obviously it works out if you want it to work out. That's how I got started.
So did that create, like, what were your doubts and fears going into that? Because, you know, one, it seems like you were fired up and you attacked it, but like there had to be some doubts, some fears, or what were you worried about? Did you believe in yourself just off the bat, or what was it?
So this is going to sound so conceited and so cocky. In the short-term emotional reaction, I had zero fear and zero doubt because I was so angry. Yeah. About 3 seconds later, I'm like, "Oh shit, I just did that. What did I just do?"
But then you can't.
There's no undo. There's no undo button to that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was the same way.
Yeah.
That was my same thing. You know, me and Vanessa had these conversations. It's like, okay, what were you afraid of? I was like, well, I didn't. Like, I believed in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I think
sometimes you're like a beautiful one-off of her. Like, I mean, I just love myself, and I
all the confidence.
Like my mom taught me to love myself, and I'm not a failure.
But you know,
I love that though.
You get put in situations, and so what do? You sit there? It's, you know, you either sink or swim. There's different types of people in the world.
I do think that's huge with entrepreneurs. Is there are a lot of sink or swim moments, and entrepreneurs are those, like, we're gonna swim. Yeah. Like, I jumped in the deep end, no floaty.
Because you never really sink though. Like, I think that's the thing that
some people
you can take on some water, but you don't sink.
So if your head is going under and above the water, are you really sinking? No, there is life still there. Yeah. Now can you sit there and remember how to swim? Can you find something to grab onto? Will you be able to keep yourself going up and down till somebody else comes and gives you,
can you learn how to hold your breath for a really long time?
So you have to be able to process what's actually happening to give yourself a chance to continue to swim. And a lot of people who aren't built for this don't get that. And, like, you know, everybody wants to use the term. I remember years ago, it's cool to say you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. It's like, but
that was code for your broke on the first date.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's still cool, but we're gonna show you behind the curtain.
Yeah. Well, and you know, one of my early business mentors, in fact, I just caught up with her recently. Her name is Jax Farmer. She said, John, everything is figure outable. And that's not a real word, but it became a real word for me in that moment. You know, I've learned one of the things I learned very quick is you can control your attitude and your actions. It's about all you can control. Yeah. With a third kind of small one being your appearance, but your attitude and your actions. You know, so you can believe in yourself. You got to have the attitude. Okay, this is gonna work out, not if but when. And your action is, I'm going to do something. Even if it's the wrong actions, I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And then I'll find out quick that this is the wrong action. I'm going to correct it.
Yeah.
You know, it's much easier to reroute a plane in motion than to get the plane off the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
So I think when I started and I realized just what I had done and that there is no undo button, it's like, all right, I have to believe in myself because otherwise it's not going to work, you know, but I've got to be willing. I would rather work like a dog for 40 years than be treated like one for 40 years.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, and that's a very real thing.
It's real.
That was
But
good.
some
real.
people are followers and some people are
Yes.
leaders.
Yeah.
And you can take on leader traits, but some people are just naturally leaders and they're meant to be in certain positions.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it takes others to point that out to them. Some people are just there and they just walk in it and, they don't find their grounding. Then finally it happens is one day and you're like, damn, this is what I was supposed to be doing. This
Yeah.
you know, and so those moments of like, damn, I'm doing this. Like, did you have that?
Yeah. I didn't have that in the moment. I had a group of people around me that were a little bit further ahead than I was in the business that I was pursuing. And so I didn't have the leadership, but I got to borrow the leadership. And I was not always in leadership roles. I didn't really know necessarily how to move people without trying to move people. You guys are people hire you guys to get their ass in gear.
Yeah.
One of the things that I had to learn is that not everyone hires you to get their ass in gear early on, right? That was a people development moment for myself.
Do you have staff?
So I do now.
Okay.
Yeah,
so how many staff do you have?
So I've got 2 virtual assistants and then I've got a dozen part-time representatives in my business.
Okay. Yeah. So and that's a whole nother part of this. Like as you grow, you can't do it all yourself.
No.
And so those growing pains of that, and you hire and you take on staff, and yes, they have a skill, they're able to do something, but then you have to manage them.
Yeah.
And so the grind of that, like, was that hard to get to that place to be able to manage those people? Or are you only putting people in position who can self-manage and you know that they're going to, like, are they more independent or are they actually directly staffed? Like how does that?
Yeah. And then like, how long was it when you were kind of like, okay, I'm doing this on my own? And then when you brought on the first person, and then what were kind of the steps into like growing what the team you have now? What does that timeline look like for you?
Yeah. Well, so putting both those things together. So I have 12 part-time representatives and they're salespeople, right? And they're gonna help families with insurance. They're gonna do investments, whatever it might be. I'm not their boss, right? They're all 1099, right? They're all independent. I'm a coach, mentor, leader for them.
How did you find them? Like, what was where you were looking for them, found them, and you were like, okay, let's still do this.
I learned from actually one of the first estate planning attorneys I ever met, which both of those, career paths, what I do and what she does are in alignment with each other. Mm-hmm. She said, John, you should try hiring people out of where they are versus to your company. And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, if you're out and about, I'm assuming at some point or other you guys, go out to eat.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe you have a freaking badass server. I mean, they are phenomenal. Why don't you just ask them, hey, do you plan on doing this for the next 30 years? Or are you open to a different opportunity? Yeah. They don't necessarily have to stop waiting tables to come work with me. Yeah. So I look for top talent everywhere I go. Yeah. I don't really look at job boards or stuff like that because I need to get a feel for the person. Yeah. And I've been doing this 10 years. Yeah. And I tried to do it all. That was one of the things that I learned, that you really can't do it all. You're going to try to do it all because you don't have any money when you're getting started. Yes. One of the biggest tips I give people now, and I've literally hired her 8 months ago. I wish I would have done that 8 years ago when I had no money. Yeah. It's like hire before you're ready. Yeah. Because good Lord, you act in that kind of faith, it will pay dividends that you don't even expect. I'm like, what do I do with all this time now? Yeah. I got a lot of my time back, not all of it, but I got a lot of my time back. And and then everything's so organized. She sends me these 2 reports every single Sunday so that on Monday I can start work. I'm like, Ashley, this is amazing. Yeah. I'm so happy. This is so good. That's awesome. And she is a blessing, but for 8 years, I would be trying to manage myself, manage a small team of sales professionals, and things fall through the cracks.
Can't do it all.
Cannot do it all, man. That is a pain. By the way, that is a lesson that most of us learn the hard way. Yeah. To that point, actually, one of the things that I learned, I was going to share this anyway. Building a team doesn't also it applies outside of your business too. What I mean is every business owner, whether you haven't made a single dollar yet or you're making thousands or millions of dollars, you need a good CPA that you have a relationship with, preferably one with a personality.
Yeah.
Not just a number cruncher, but one that actually has people skills.
Yeah.
A banker, because they will save your ass when you need them to.
Yeah.
I think it's really good having a mentor inside the same industry you're in. One that doesn't look at it like competition, but as collaboration. And then having a mentor outside of your business, because they give you so many different perspectives that you've never even thought of.
Yeah.
You know, that is a solid team of that's your core four. I think every entrepreneur needs. There's other things that you need over time. You need a financial advisor, you need insurance people, you need different things. You need maybe a staffing company at one point or another, but those are your core four, whether you're day one or day million. That's you need those four things.
And when I think we've all kind of grown up in heard that saying, you know, are you going to be like really good at one thing or are you going to be mediocre at a bunch of things? And when you're trying to do it all yourself, and I understand the forefront tends to be finances, but a lot of things slip through the cracks. And then you end up being mediocre at a lot of things instead of being really, really good at that one thing you wanted to start your business for. And that even becomes mediocre because you're plunging toilets and you know, you're folding towels and you're just doing things that are just really, really draining that energy you need to put towards your career.
And you touched on something. I have a mentor company that I'm a part of, and they mentor me and help me, and they help me with like building all these different systems and things. And they help me identify lower level tasks that like how much an hour, how much is my value? Okay, are these tasks below that? Should I be doing this? Should I be folding towels? Should I be, you know, creating the content for social media, or should I be doing the collaborations? And should I be coming up with the idea? Like understanding
like time is money.
What are the things that I should be doing that are high level tasks and actually bring real value to the business versus these smaller things that like I can pay someone to sit there and do and give myself 2 hours. 2 hours is huge.
It's huge.
Like, you know, and so just understanding how to, you know,
and like
delegate
to that too. Like I think we live in a society where like we want to be able to touch it, we want to see it, we want instant gratification. And what we don't see, like time is money, right? But and like when you see the $100 bill in your hand, you're like, oh man, it's $100 bills.
That's right.
But if you charge per se $100 an hour, you're not necessarily touching that $100 bill. And so it's very easy to be like, it's just an hour of my time. Yeah. But I think we forget like time is money, and you might need to pay off a few dollars out of your bank account and you're going to see it. But man, like the dividends that build on that is just unbelievable.
Time you're absolutely right.
And that's what we're bringing you in here today. So before we run out of time here. So tip number one to give to people.
Time and money are both expensive and they're both scarce resources.
And you can't get back.
You can create opportunities to make more money, but you won't get your time back. Now, if you work your ass off and you really grind it out, you can buy more time. Like you can buy time back in the future, but you can't create more of it, right? So I think the first tip, and this is something that really, I don't have really any regrets because they're all lessons that I've learned, but having money saved, not invested, not under the mattress, but just saved somewhere for emergencies, because it doesn't matter how far along you are in your business.
It's gonna happen.
You're gonna have a cash flow challenge at some point or another. People think financial advisors are rich. I am still a business owner. If there's no money to manage, I don't make any money. So it's very important to have an emergency fund, preferably before you start your business. But more than anything else, we can mindset our way into things. We can believe our way into things. We can sell our way into things and out of things. But having a liquid emergency fund, saves people's business.
Is there a general amount that you would suggest for people?
So I can't give specific investment advice, but I could say that it's an industry understanding that having 3 to 6 months of your operating expenses is really, really helpful. And then by the way, when you do get to the point where you have that, because some people have greater operating, I mean, you have tremendous amounts of overhead, right? You have a facility to worry about. For some people it's 3 to 6 months. For some people it's 1 or 2 months because of the amount of money that it actually would be in the bank. and it's very infrequent you have a that type of disaster, right? You will at some point, but it's not often you have that level of an emergency, right? So just having 3 to 6 months of operating expenses in the bank that you don't touch, that's the oh shit money, as a good rule of thumb. It's not about if, it's when, and it's probably going to be more than one when, by the way. It's just, it's
or if it's like 2024 when we had multiple storms back to back, and
you're shut down,
like let alone like I didn't have my storefront at this time, but during the pandemic, like that's a whole nother thing. And so that you're definitely hitting it on the head.
Well, and I think that actually goes right into the second tip. I'm sorry,
tip number 2.
It was just so perfect.
Yeah,
is that is understanding the controllables. You can't control your customer largely. You honestly largely cannot even control your team to some extent, but you can control your attitude and your actions. And so if you believe in yourself, that is an attitude. You believe, you're betting on yourself to win.
Of course.
But the action is you've got to do the work that says I'm going to win, right? Faith without works is dead. So you've got to take action behind the attitude. I believe I'm going to have some low cash flow months at some point in my business career. Good. The action is you save money for the emergencies, attitude and actions. So when disaster happens, it's shit, this really sucks. I hate this. I did not enjoy, going through a hard time. Well, I could stay this way. The action is I could stay this way, or I can do something about it, which is I could pivot and get online. I can move a storefront, but if you don't have any money saved, it's really hard to pivot.
True. Yeah. Definitely.
Go ahead and go to the next one, the third.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times entrepreneurship is glamorized on the internet.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We can't swipe more than 2 or 3 swipes on any social media platform without somebody talking about their lavish lifestyle and the cars they drive and the places they go and the places they eat and all these things. And that's great. I pray that every entrepreneur gets there one day. I really do. But that's probably not today. And today we're all probably feeling alone in some cases or maybe misunderstood. So I think that third tip is more of a mental and spiritual one, is that you don't have to want to be alone, but be okay being alone and be okay being misunderstood. I want everyone to understand everything I do and everything I believe and everything I say and everything I think, but very few people are going to actually understand. Raise your hand if someone said, well, don't you set your own hours?
Oh.
Right? Yeah. So be prepared to be misunderstood. It's okay. They're not going to I used to be resentful when people didn't understand. And I don't like my family. I love my family. I'm very close to my parents. We talk every day. It's those same things on repeat. Not because they try to discourage me or they hate me or they're jealous. They genuinely love me, and our people love us. Yeah. Very few people, I think, really want you to fail. Yeah, it's just they don't understand.
Yeah, and they're seeing it from an outside perspective.
That's right.
Like we're driven and looking at things a totally different way, and even the staff and the people who we employ and who work with us and collaborate, all these other things. They don't understand what's in our head and how we're driven, we're trying to achieve and get certain things done. And it just doesn't work to honestly try and drill it to get it to them because they're just not going to get it.
Yep. And by the way, that's a big leadership thing too that I messed up so bad. I messed up so bad early in my business with some of my sales professionals. I know I have unintentionally like wounded them, like hurt them internally because I wanted them to love my business the way I love my business.
Oh yeah. And that's like asking someone to love your child the same way you love your child.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. And they might love it, but they won't love it like you do.
Well, but see, and I think the interesting thing about being in this industry, I understood going in. People come to you for a service. Like they're coming to you, which you end up giving them way more than what they came for. You become their therapist and their best friend.
Everything.
All these other different things. But they come to you, but they don't want to actually do the real work of what it takes to actually complete that. And it comes in waves of where like they're dedicated this way. So I understood that going into this and being in the industry so long that it was like, I know that it's not going to go the way and people aren't going to see it the same way.
I mean, I think we talked about it in the first podcast, but the entrepreneurship can be
lonely.
Yes.
So lonely.
But it's not, I mean, it's a different type of lonely.
It is. It's
You
very
know,
different
it's not like you're
It's
just
a
like,
short term. It's a short term if you're operating and doing certain things, and you have good support. That is like, I think that is one of the biggest
you can
things.
be lonely and have a support system at the same time. I think there's this connotation around the word lonely.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No. By the way, lonely is a skill set.
Yes.
Let's do this again. Hey, raise your hand if you've ever had to recharge your social battery.
Oof.
Constantly.
Nap time.
Right? All the time.
I take my naps. We're actually getting close to nap time.
That's great,
I'm
dude.
sacrificing it for you.
Hey,
That
I am
means a lot to
honored.
us.
Like, you feel so warm and fuzzy inside.
Vanessa,
Oh,
she
my
will
goodness.
tell you if you call me around a certain time on the weekend, I'm not responding.
Hey, I know we're both married men, but this is that's love right there, man.
It is.
Hey,
I wanted you to know that.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
I'm missing my nap for you.
This is good. I love this. That's so good. And and I'm glad you actually said that though, specifically on because that next tip is we got to take it took me almost 10 years of being in business to let this sink in. We actually really have to take care of ourselves to take care of our business the right way. You know, we think sometimes that we're being selfish, but being selfish in that regard is so selfless.
Yeah.
Because then we can give our best to our business.
Yeah.
And that comes along the lines of also self-improving, not just health and wellness, but self-improving, going to the conferences, going to the events,
educating,
reading books, and then doing what the book teaches says. Right. One of my old mentors, we're in, maybe there's 10 or 15 of us in the room, and he's going, hey, how many books are you going to read this year? And some guy says, I'm going to read 12, one a month. Somebody goes, how many books are you going to read? 52, one for every week. And he was really firing up the room. He was doing this on purpose. He was really firing up the room. And then he asked the question. He says, what good does reading 52 books do for you this year if you're not going to do a damn thing with it?
Yeah.
He said, why don't you read one book and do what the book says first, and then worry about the other 51.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He let us on purpose. It was so good. So good. But self-improving and taking care of ourselves, I think is an underspoken thing. And not the people in health and wellness obviously preach that that's their business, but
it's harder.
It's so much harder.
It's so much harder.
I think we're almost held to this higher standard.
You're superwoman, you know?
Yeah. Or what?
We're looked
you
at
preach it.
Oh yeah. And they don't understand. Oh, you're lucky you get to work in the gym and be in the
They're
gym
like,
all
don't
day.
you love just working out all day?
Do you think I work out all day? Like, no, my back hurts. My feet hurt. I mean, like you get so distracted with the day-to-day of business and things like that. You know, I have time for myself. Every Friday I get a massage. If I don't, like that's my reset. And it's not just pretty massage. I get a Thai massage.
So they're walking on your back and shit, man. They're
stretching you and pretzeling you.
On the weekends I take my nap. Like I take 2 naps. But I wake up super early. Like it's needed.
I believe you.
Like I wake up so early, and my days are long, but on the weekends I recharge.
Yeah, it is hard
you have
though.
to have something for you.
I have I balance back and forth between like shame.
Yes.
And taking time for myself. Like I have my phone.
I feel guilty.
Everyone knows, like 7 p.m. my phone goes on do not disturb.
Yeah.
It's not that I won't see it, but then I just kind of feel like, okay, well, somebody sees that I have my notification silence. I won't feel as guilty. But I don't even think like that mentality even. Like I shouldn't have that mentality. I feel like it's 7 p.m.
You gotta set those boundaries too.
I know, but then I have to like not shame myself for setting those boundaries for my own mental health. And it's just this constant like loop and cycle of like shame but boundaries and learning to get out of that shame cycle with it.
What I thought was really interesting about that. So when I first got into business, I was kind of single. I met my wife 6 months in, right? And so single for 6 months, but then after that we were dating, and she was a huge support system in terms of which by the way is not common. It was hey, 25/8, whatever you need to do, we're good. I don't need all the attention in the universe. It's just, hey, if we have a date night every week, I'm a happy person. Other than that, do what you need to do. But when we're getting ready to have my daughter, then we had a real conversation about boundaries. It was hey, we're about to have this baby. Let's look at the work that's being done. Let's look at the high level activities and the not so high level activities. What can we delegate out? And so, for example, I don't consider this work, but I haven't worked a weekend in 2.5 years,
Yeah.
you know, but I felt so guilty for the longest time because a lot of my old time clients know Sunday, you can call me. Saturday at 7:00 at night, you can call me, you know, and I had to set some boundaries that were really hard to honor. I felt so much shame and chill. There's so much shame and guilt for that. And I still do sometimes. I see it. I'm like, oh, I want to respond to this, but nope.
Yeah,
I'll wait till the morning.
We're
going to wait till the morning.
Yeah.
And what you want to know what's crazy about that, Vanessa? I have never in 10 years had somebody say, man, I texted you at 8:30 last night and you didn't get back to me until 7:30 in the morning. Shame on you. That is not that is a conversation I had in my own head.
Yeah.
But nobody has ever said that.
Boundaries, I'm here for it. I think with me opening a gym, so I trained out of an apartment gym for 9 years.
Wow.
And from there, before that, I was working at the YMCA. But once I opened a gym, that's when I really started setting the boundaries. My clients, you know, would text me all day, every day. I would wake up to 10 messages.
Yeah.
And, you know, once I opened a gym, we set some more, you know, I'm going to be out or can I change or whatever like that. You know, at night, I shut it down. I put my phone down and from there, I just move on. And, you know, that's been a huge thing for me to be able to say is, hey, I'm sorry. Like, you know, I'll get back to you when I do. Like, you know, and now I have other staff and we have systems and things in place to where, you know, you can text the company line and from there, you know, someone will get back to you and do things. And so it saves a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good on you for that.
Well, we I think we all came from a generation where, you know, we were the AOL. Like first dial up, call waiting. That sound.
That was a blast, man. Somebody make a phone call and the freaking just takes you out.
If we could go back to those days, the good old days.
The definitely good days.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your last amazing? I think we've done our 4 tips.
Yeah,
the last one.
I think
we've all been waiting.
I definitely got a message for some people that I'll share in just a minute. It's about what I got on my wrist right now. But I think a really good tip that between the two of you guys, has anyone ever experienced a stigma behind salespeople? Have you ever experienced that where people that feel a certain way behind salespeople?
Oh yeah, of course. Like you want to
like,
avoid them.
don't trust
them.
Like they're sleazy.
Yeah. So I think one big misconception that a lot, especially new entrepreneurs that don't have a background in sales, understand is they are a salesperson.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are or what your business does. You are a salesperson. You don't have to be a slimy salesperson, but you're a salesperson. And by the way, sales are not a bad thing. That's how you don't make your money unless you're selling something. You could be selling your cause and mission and people are exchanging that, you know, giving you money as a result. You know, you could be selling gym memberships. You could be selling training services. You could be doing financial services, whatever you're selling something. And it's okay to be okay selling. In fact, I believe everyone needs to become a professional salesperson. Again, you don't have to be a pushy, slimy, dirty salesperson, but you've got to learn the art of professional sales, how to get people from having their money in their wallet and giving it to you in exchange for a good or a service. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is okay to have sold somebody when you're doing something that's better for them. Right. So I think every business owner needs to develop themselves as a sales professional, not to have to push somebody. And if they blink twice, going for the kill and like overcome 1,000 objections and learn, well, what is it you need to think about? I think, by the way, that shit pisses me off. And I see that stuff drives me insane when I see it on social media. But it's about knowing how to take somebody from where they are to where realistically they need to go by doing business with you. And that is an art form. And it's not something that a lot of people naturally have. And if you don't, either hire someone to do it or become the professional that can do it. Otherwise you're not going to stay in business.
And people have to understand too, that like as an entrepreneur, the exchange of service for someone compensating you for that service, that needs to happen, because a lot of things that happen is, oh, okay, I know you, I'll give you a discount.
Oh God, no.
Like, and people need to understand that you need to be compensated, and you need to be trained to be able to get compensated, because it's always easy when you first start out to sit there and easily say, okay, I'll give a discount on this or that. Like in my gym, we don't give discounts. Our prices are because I have overhead. I have staff I have to pay. I have things I need to take care of with the other percentage that comes to the gym. That is something that you need to be able to train yourself to understand, because at some point in time, you know, the business needs the money.
You do. You won't stay in business.
You won't stay in business.
You got to stay in business to build a business.
Make sure you're getting compensated for those things. So, all right, now we've talked about these major points that are amazing, and we're going to definitely highlight those so people can, quick bullet point those.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I want to
bracelet.
Yeah, so I wanted to do this real quick, and I've been on a couple podcasts recently, and I've shared this with everyone. I heard an audio from Jocko Willink and Leif Babin about almost 8 years ago now, and it was about the mantra of good. Bad things are going to happen to us. Yeah. Everybody, by the way, not just entrepreneurs. Yeah. But you're going to go from one dumpster fire to another when you have a business. There's always going to be something going on, and the way that you think about it will, in my opinion, determine your success and your failure. So when you have problems, you could say, why is this happening to me? Why are all these problems popping up? Maybe business is not for me. Or you could say, good, let's just work on the solution. Let's move on. That's good. Let's just get to it quickly and move on. And so I got this bracelet a while back for me and a couple of friends. It says, don't let the hard days win. And I wear it, I actually have 3 of them because I don't want to lose it. And so I have just in case it's in the drawer. And it's there. Don't let the hard days win, because every day is hard and every day is great. Every day is hard and every day is great. We have long days, hard days, but just don't let the hard days win.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good. And it's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is. You get in this because you have this mindset of wanting to achieve and do and grow and all these other things. So, it's a mindset. So not let the hard days win.
Don't let the hard days
Attitude
win.
and actions.
Attitude and actions.
Yeah. Another t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm telling you. We have a whole line of t-shirts that we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
You ready? We're going quick fire.
We did not tell you that we're doing a quick fire.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do the first one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So it's quick fire.
Okay.
What song best describes you?
It's Are You Ready by Disturbed.
Oh, nice. I do like that one.
Hit 'em.
Okay. During a meeting.
Okay.
Coffee or cocktails?
Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm a caffeine junkie, so.
Oh, that's true.
I like coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Straight black coffee.
What song put you in business mode?
Ooh, that's a good one. Now Let Them Tremble by All That Remains.
Say it again.
Now Let Them Tremble by All That Remains.
We're all gonna have to get back in our cars and listen.
I'm like, taking notes.
Hold on, wait a second.
Okay, Now Let Them Tremble. Okay.
Follow closely by Amen by Her Last Sight.
You have a lot of songs.
Yeah.
That's really good for
quick
quick
metal
fire.
band for 10 years before.
You played in a metal band?
Oh yeah, I used to have Cousin It hair. Yeah, it was great.
Man.
By the way, there's gonna be a small group of people that listen to this that actually know who Cousin It is.
I know who Cousin It is.
I know you do.
I don't.
The Addams Family?
Are you?
Oh, I thought you were talking about a group or something.
No.
Oh,
you
yes.
keep up with this ADD over here.
I was like, wait a minute. I took my Adderall, so I'm
Yeah.
You're focused. You're like, this doesn't make sense. We're not bouncing around.
I'm focused.
Okay. Well, all right. So if anybody wants to kind of reach out to you for some more information, where can they find you? How can they contact you?
Yeah, I think the best way is for somebody to reach out to me. They can give me a call, shoot me a text, find me on social media. In fact, you guys can put my contact information in the show notes if you want to. Yeah. But for socials, it's on Instagram. It's John_HTX Financial Coach. John_HTX Financial Coach. You can find me there. Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. But I think that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Thanks for tuning in on this episode of Sweat the Standard with Terrance and Vanessa.
All right. And so make sure you follow us on all of our socials with Sweat the Standard, and stay tuned for next time.